All right, with that being said, I'd like to start our July 31st, 2023 City of Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. Call to order here at 5:34 on Monday, July 31st. Can I get a call to order, please? Okay, and then can I get a roll call?
All right, commissioners, when I say your name, please indicate if you are present. Commissioner Admire,
Present.
Chair Alcorn,
Yes, ma'am, present.
Vice Chair Coladonato,
You're muted, Johnny.
I know Vice Chair Coladonato is here. And I think if you're using your phone, I think it's *4. Get off of mute. And while Vice Chair Coladonato is working on that, I'm just going to go down the list. Commissioner Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Diaz is excused. Commissioner Finland,
Present.
Commissioner Meyer,
Present.
Commissioner Moralia,
Present.
Commissioner Page,
Present.
and Commissioner Spellman is excused. And I just want to go back again to Vice Chair Coladonato.
Yeah, present.
Perfect. So we have all members present with Commissioner Diaz and Spellman excused.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a report of the posting of the agenda, please?
We posted the agenda for this meeting on Wednesday, July 26th, in accordance with our public meeting posting requirements.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I get an approval of the minutes?
Motion.
Thank you, Michael. Can I get a
I'll
second?
second that. I'll second
Thank you,
that.
Susie. Thank you, you too.
Okay. And I will do a roll call vote of our previous commissioners as we are approving the minutes from the June 26th Parks and Rec Commission meeting. Chair Alcorn,
I approve.
Vice Chair Coladonato,
I abstain.
Commissioner Finland,
Approve.
Commissioner Meyer,
I'll approve.
and Commissioner Moralia.
Approved.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, with that, this part of the meeting is open for public comment. Is there any public that's in the queue waiting to address the Parks and Recreation Commission?
So if you are attending the meeting via Zoom, if you can use the raise hand feature, that way we'll know that you'd like to speak during public comment right now. And we do have some members of the public joining us today, so let me just give them a minute or two to see if anyone wants to make any public comments. Okay, and it does not look like we have any public comments today.
Okay. With that being said, let's move on to the director's report. Ma'am.
So at each meeting, I like to give you guys an overview of some of the things that have been in motion since our last meeting. And I usually always start with some of the items that have gone to council since our last meeting. So our last meeting, our last Parks and Rec Commission meeting was on Monday, June 26th. So since then, council has met 3 additional times. On June 29th, our FY24 and FY25 annual budget was approved for the city as well as for Parks and Recreation. For FY24, we will be working with a $15.3 million budget, and the preliminary approval of the FY25 budget puts us at $15.9 million. To put that into comparison, our budget for the last fiscal year was $13.5 million. So we're looking at 15.3 for this current fiscal year. At the July 10th meeting, the council approved some appointments to our commission. And just at last week's council meeting, council approved the contract for our pickleball design consultant, as well as additional appointments to our commission. The council is going dark in August, like this commission as well. Also, since our last meeting, we had 4 full days of 4th of July activities. So similar to what we did last year, we ran events Saturday through Tuesday, so July 1st through July 4th, with the culmination of fireworks at Sunrise Park. I'm not going to show the pictures of all of those great events, but hopefully you were able to attend some of those concerts or swim events. On Tuesday, July 18th, in recognition of National Parks and Recreation Month, we held our department's first open house community outreach meeting at the Demuth Community Center. Our goal for this outreach meeting was to create a new platform for the community to be able to learn about all of the projects that we offer, all of the programs, meet staff, meet some of our commissioners, as well as learn about things that they may not know that we have been working on. The event for a first year event was well attended. We had lots of fun little giveaways as well, including dog park frisbees. There's some of our dog park tennis balls. There were arts and crafts activities for kids as well. Here's a few more pictures. We had our Village Fest crew there, as well as our special events team, talking about the upcoming parade season. Our park rangers, who many of our community have not had the opportunity to meet yet, were also on hand. And you'll also see that fun photo on the right of our pickleball enthusiasts who were there to talk about what we've got going on with pickleball. Also for the swim center, we had our architect and design team consultants on site reviewing the conceptual renderings for the remodel of the locker room, as well as the new office space and ADA ramp. So this was one of the first times that the architect was able to meet with the community to talk about some of those planning efforts. Shifting gears, we've got some fun new t-shirts and hats for our lifeguards. So I'm just showing you an image of those. It's getting hot, of course, outside. So like we always do, we are operating James O. Jesse and the Demuth Community Center as cooling centers Monday through Friday. We just added additional hours at James O. Jesse and Demuth on Sundays. So James O. Jesse is now open from 10 to 5 on Sundays to operate as a cooling center, with Demuth being open from 8 to 6 p.m. And that will be running through August 27th, so some of the hottest time of the year. We also have at the city, of course, the library operates as a cooling center as well, and they are open on Saturdays. So we're just trying to increase our offerings for the public who want to come inside, get a cold beverage, or just sit down in air conditioning for a few hours. I've got a couple items that I want you guys to save the dates for, so upcoming events. This Friday at James O. Jesse, we are doing our back to school event. It starts at 4 o'clock, and this is our backpack giveaway and resource fair. The following day on Saturday, August 5th, we're doing a similar event, back to school backpack giveaway at the Demuth Community Center. The event at Demuth will be open from 11 to 3. And we're also, similar to what we've done in the past, we'll have someone on site giving haircuts for any kids who want to get their haircut for the school year. And that's all free. For movies, I've been talking about our summer movie series at the pool. So our Flick and Float event, 2 of the movies have already passed, and we've got 2 more movies to round out our series. So coming up on Saturday, August 19th, you can join us at the pool to see the Super Mario Brothers movie. And then on Saturday, September 16th, we've got our final movie of the season, which will be Luca. And the movies typically start when it starts getting dark, so around 7 or a little bit later. Just when it's dark enough for the screen to pick up the movie. At each of our meetings too, I like to talk about how we're doing on recruitments and hiring new staff for our department. So since our last meeting on June 26th, I'm pleased to report that we have had 4 new staff join our aquatics team. So we've hired our aquatics manager and we've hired 3 new lifeguards as well. So 4 new lifeguards and aquatic staff have joined our team.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was really great. And they all actually ended up starting on the same week. So it was really an amazing week for us to have 4 new staff members all for the swim center start. We're still hiring, of course, so we still have vacancies. So we're still working on filling the assistant director position, as well as a few additional lifeguard positions as well. And that concludes my director's report.
Awesome. Thank you, Yvonne. That was great. With that being said, does anybody have any questions for Yvonne? All right, moving on. We're going to move on to action items here.
I
And
think
I guess-
Commissioner Moralia may have a question.
Oh, sorry. My screen doesn't allow me to do the block section where I can see everybody. So
Yeah, I only saw his hand go up because he happened to be in my peripheral vision.
Sorry, I'll use the reaction button next time. My only question is, I know that we're going to do ad hoc assignments and stuff tonight, but will you send around the contact list with the new commissioner's contacts? Because obviously we don't have it.
Yes, absolutely.
so with this time, do I step down and let you run this, Yvonne? Because I can't technically do action A or B. It's kind of a conflict of interest right there.
You can open up the floor to see if anyone is interested in serving as so. And I can do it as well. Why don't I do it to make it easier? So at every July meeting, we select our Parks and Rec Commission chair and vice chair for the fiscal year. So we're going to be doing this on 2 different action items. So the first action item is to elect the commission chair, and this would be for fiscal year 24, so July through June of June 30th of 2024. In order to do this, what we typically do is we open up the floor for any nominations of individuals that would like to be the chair, or any nominations that someone thinks someone else should be the chair. And then we'll request a motion and second and vote to see if we get a majority of the members agreeing. And I see we've got Commissioner Moralia.
I say if Mr. Alcorn still wants to be our chair, I would like for him to still be our chair. So I nominate him.
Oh, John, I love it.
I'll second that motion. I'll third that.
Yeah, and I'll fourth that as well.
Thank you, everybody.
A landslide victory here, Alcorn.
Yeah, makes me feel good. Thank y'all.
So from there, we'll want to do a roll call vote to make sure that we have a majority. So when I call your name, if you could actually, let me just make sure I've got the motion in second right. We had Moralia and Finland, right?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so when I call your name, if you could please indicate if you agree with Chair Alcorn serving as our chair for FY24. Commissioner Admire,
Agree.
Commissioner Alcorn,
I'm gonna agree.
Vice Chair Coladonato,
Totally agree.
Commissioner Davis,
Agree.
Commissioner Finland,
Agree.
Commissioner Meyer,
Agree.
Commissioner Moralia,
Absolutely agree.
Commissioner Page.
Agree.
Okay, motion carries with Chair Alcorn serving as our chair for another year.
Thank you, everybody.
Well deserved, Jerry.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it, my friend. So at this time, I'm going to take back over that. I'm going to do, we have open nominations for election of commission vice chair. Anybody have any nominations? I know I'm going to throw it out there again. I'm going to throw Johnny out.
I second that.
Is that Commissioner Finland?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we can roll call vote if there's no other nominations. Commissioner Meyer,
Agree.
Chair Alcorn,
I agree.
Vice Chair Coladonato,
Heck yeah, it's been a blast. I love working with Jerry and this team. We got a good team.
Commissioner Davis,
Agree.
Commissioner Finland,
Agree.
Commissioner Meyer,
Agree.
Commissioner Moralia,
Agree.
and Commissioner Page.
Agree.
Okay, motion carries with Vice Chair Coladonato serving as our vice chair for FY24.
All right, Yvonne, I'm going to let you take this one because Parks and Recreation 101. Please, ma'am.
All right, so since this is our first meeting of the fiscal year, we wanted to do a welcome and onboarding for our new members, as well as provide a refresher for our existing members. So for some of you, this will be old information, and for our newest commissioners, hopefully this will be interesting to set sort of the framework for who we are and what we do. So the agenda for this section, I'm going to talk a little bit about the department, then I'll talk a little bit about this commission. I'll give a high-level overview of our parks system, and then I'll talk about some of the programs that we offer to the community. So to get started, I'm going to talk a little bit about our department. And in particular, I'm going to start with how our department fits into the framework of the city or in the organizational structure of the city. So of course, earlier this year, a new city manager, Scott Stiles, joined our team. The city manager oversees the assistant city manager, the deputy city manager for administration, the deputy city manager for development services, as well as 4 departments. So those 4 department directors, the airport finance, fire, and chief of police, all report directly to city manager Scott Stiles. The assistant city manager, Teresa Galvan, has 6 different departments that report directly to her. And as you'll see on this graphic here, we, Parks and Recreation, report directly to Teresa Galvan, as well as communications, the library, maintenance and facilities, the Office of Neighborhoods, and our special program compliance department. I'm, of course, the director of Parks and Recreation. Right now, in terms of the structure of the division of our teams in Parks and Recreation, we have an administration team. We have a team focused on our recreation and programs. And then we have a team that's focused on our special events and permitting. As our assistant director is hired, and as we fill some of those additional seats, like including our park ranger seats, I'm going to be looking at doing some organizational structure changes in the department so that we can also have a clearer emphasis on our parks activities as well. So right now I'm just showing you sort of that we may end up with 4 different divisions in Parks and Rec, and I'll keep you guys updated on that as we get that mapped out. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about the mission for the Parks and Recreation Department. Our goal is to make sure that we're providing welcoming and safe spaces for both our residents and our visitors. We also want to make sure that we are unifying our youth and our young at heart communities. Our mission also includes providing a variety of inclusive and affordable programs and activities. So making sure that what we're doing is inclusive and affordable. And we also want to make sure that we leverage our partnerships so that we create and maintain continued partnerships. And those might be with our community stakeholders or with schools and local organizations. So to kind of sum it up for those 4 key points, and these are the 4 key points that our department tries to use to sort of measure our success. So we look to see, are we providing welcoming and safe spaces for our residents and visitors? Are we unifying our youth and young at heart communities? So really making sure that we've got something for all age groups. Are our offerings inclusive and affordable? And are we still creating and maintaining continued partnerships? So those are the 4 key points of our department's mission statement. Now I'll talk a little bit about the Parks and Rec Commission. So the Parks and Rec Commission, it's an 11-member advisory commission. Of course, you are appointed by City Council. You support the work of the Parks and Recreation Department, and you also provide broad technical expertise to help us manage our public spaces and our recreational activities. Our meetings, of course, are conducted in accordance with the Brown Act. We post our agendas in advance of the meetings at City Hall as well as on the website. Our regular meetings require 72 hours notice, so you'll typically see at the beginning of each meeting, I report on when we've posted the agenda to ensure that we're complying with that public meeting posting requirement. And then for our schedule, these meetings typically take place on the 4th Monday of the month at 5:30 p.m. We may meet virtually or we may meet in person. This meeting is an unusual meeting where we're just meeting entirely virtually. In order to host or to hold a meeting, we need to make sure that we have a quorum to conduct business. So the quorum for this commission is 6 commissioners. To ensure that we have a quorum, Janet Burns will always send out emails in advance of each meeting with those agenda materials requesting and ensuring that you'll be in attendance. So for our new commissioners, make sure you're on the lookout in advance of each meeting for an email from Janet Burns with the information packet and agenda for each of our meetings. Of course, our meetings are facilitated by a chair or our vice chair. Action items, we'll always ask for a motion and a second, and then we will take a roll call vote to see if we have a majority for the item to pass. Like tonight's agenda, our agendas may include just presentation items for informational purposes, as well as action items. The public is encouraged to be involved with the Parks and Rec Commission. We have a designated email address, which is parksandrec@palmspringsca.gov for members of the public to be able to email correspondence for you, the commissioners, which we will be sharing with you in your agenda packets before each of those meetings. We also have an opportunity for public comment at each of our meetings. So as you'll see on each agenda, agenda item number 5 allows 3 minutes per each speaker. And we also solicit community participation through doing surveys and special community outreach meetings. This is a calendar of our meetings for the remainder of the year. So obviously we are at Monday, July 31st. August, we traditionally go dark. So then we will have 4 more meetings for this calendar year. We also,
Sorry, I saw the bike. Sorry.
Oh, that one, isn't that fun? We also have sort of a standard sort of a schedule for what we do each year. So this is sort of our yearly sort of annual calendar overview. And as you'll see in January of each year on the agenda, we typically do our calendar review for the year, selecting the dates for each of our meetings. At the June meeting, we do an end of fiscal year review so that we can look back to celebrate our accomplishments and try to figure out if we want to shift priorities for the next fiscal year. And then in July, which is this meeting, we will always be electing our chair and vice chair. We'll be selecting our ad hocs for the year, and we'll also be doing our Parks and Rec 101. The other meetings then have our regular sort of standing agenda items as well as any project-related items. A little bit about the ad hocs. So in addition to having a Parks and Rec Commission, the commission also sets up ad hocs. Our ad hocs are small groups of commissioners that will conduct research and provide technical guidance to staff on parks and recreational areas. Ad hoc members will end up serving as a liaison between the community and the city, as well as with staff. Our ad hoc commissioners will provide updates at each of the Parks and Rec Commission meetings. When we set up an ad hoc, we're typically looking for 2 to 3 commissioners to be on an ad hoc. For the ad hocs, we make sure that we do not have a quorum of commissioners on the ad hocs. And then all of the ad hoc items also get discussed at these public meetings. We typically set up all of our ad hocs annually, and over the past year, we did set up an additional ad hoc for the swim center, which was needed during the year. But traditionally, we try to set up our ad hocs a year in advance, as it helps focus the work that we do. These are the 6 ad hocs that we had for FY23. So we had an ad hoc on the dog park, one on landscape conversions, one on the master plan, one on park enhancements, and park enhancements included artwork installations, as well as playgrounds, signage, shade structures, things like that. And then we had an ad hoc for our pickleball courts, as well as one for the swim center. So now I'm going to jump a little bit into our park system to give you an overview of what is currently in the City of Palm Springs portfolio that our department is responsible for. So in terms of recreational amenities, we have 69. So we have 7 recreational facilities, we have 11 parks, we have 6 playgrounds, and we have 45 athletic courts and fields. And I'll sort of do a drill down in each of these areas too, to give you a little bit more information. So for our 7 recreational facilities, we have our aquatic center, we have our Demuth Community Center, we've got our James O. Jesse Community Center, we've got our leisure center, which is in Sunrise Park. We also have our pavilion in Sunrise Park. We have a skate park in Sunrise Park, and then we have the Tockwitz Golf Course. All of the facilities, with the exception of the skate park and the golf course, are operated by Parks and Recreation staff. The skate park and the golf course are outsourced for their operations. We have 11 parks throughout the city. We've got Bristow Park, we've got the City Hall Dog Park, which is right behind City Hall. We have Demuth Park, Desert Highland Park, which is the park around the James O. Jesse Center. We've got our downtown park, Francis Stevens, Gateway Park, which is on Gene Autry, the park that has the Palm Springs sign, Ruth Hardy, Sunrise, Victoria, and the Wellness Park. So those are our 11 parks. We have 4 dog parks. So behind City Hall, we have a large dog park as well as a small dog park. At Demuth, we have the other 2 dog parks, a large dog park as well as a small dog park. We are currently working on a capital improvement project for enhancements to the Demuth large dog park as well as the small dog park. For playgrounds, we have 6 playgrounds right now. We have one at Bristow, Demuth, Desert Highland, Ruth Hardy, Sunrise Park, and Victoria Park. For 3 of our parks, we are working on improvements right now. So Victoria Park is getting new playground equipment, as well as Demuth Park, and Bristow Park is getting a new shade structure. So those will be coming up in the next few months. We'll get back to you at the next meeting with the final timelines on each of those. For pickleball courts, right now we have 12 pickleball courts, and they are all located at Demuth Park. We also have a capital improvement project to build 12 new additional pickleball courts at Demuth as well. So that would put us up to 24 pickleball courts at Demuth. For tennis, we have 9 tennis courts. 8 are located at Ruth Hardy and 1 is located at Demuth Park. For ball fields, we have 10 ball fields. We've got the stadium, of course, at Sunrise Park and Cerritos Field at Sunrise. And then we have 8 ball fields at Demuth as well. We are also working right now on a capital improvement project for new LED lighting for our ball fields. LED lighting project is slated to be completed in early 2024. So January or February, I believe. For soccer fields, we've got 4 soccer fields, which are all at Demuth Park. And we are also working on a capital improvement project to enhance those fields. And at last month's Parks and Rec Commission meeting, we had our engineering department join us to give us some updates on those projects as well. So if you were not here for that meeting, you may want to listen in to that one to get some of those updates too. Otherwise, we will continue to provide updates at each of our meetings on the status of those projects. And then we've got 4 volleyball courts, 3 of them right now at Ruth Hardy and 1 at Victoria Park. We have 4 basketball courts at Bristow, Desert Highland, Ruth Hardy, and Sunrise Park. And we have 2 bocce ball courts, and they are at Gateway Park. And then for fitness areas, we have 2 parks, Wellness Park and Sunrise Park, that have outdoor exercise and fitness equipment for the community. We are also right now working on a Measure J project to add exercise equipment to Desert Highland Park as well. So that's an overview of the park system. So what's in our current portfolio. And I just want to talk a little bit about some of the programs that we offer as well. We contract year-round with instructors, sports and athletic instructors, to provide classes for our community. So right now we have instructor-led classes in Aikido, boxing, karate, pickleball, water aerobics, and yoga. So any of our community members that are interested in any of these sports and athletic classes can sign up via our ActiveNet system to participate in those classes. In addition to working with outside instructors to lead classes, we also do staff-led classes. So our Parks and Recreation staff also teach classes as well. And we currently have classes in archery, we've done art of crafting, drill team, drum squad, knitting and sewing, line dancing, and more. So that's one of the things that I'm not sure that everyone's aware of, that our staff also teach classes for the community. We also have a really active youth programs. So we do year-round sort of youth programs through after-school programs, Pee Wee Rec, as well as summer camp programs. So FKO is our For Kids Only program, and that also includes van pickups at our schools. We've got a youth encouragement program for our 5th through 12th graders that takes place at James O. Jesse as well, from 4 to 6 on Thursdays. And that also includes lectures and field trips as well. So we've got a full lineup of staff teaching and leading our youth programs. I mentioned a little bit on the last slide about camps. We do sort of 3 seasons of camps. All of our camps are also staff-led. So we've got summer, winter, and spring camps that we offer. Camps take place at James O. Jesse, Sunrise Park, and Skate Park. And then we have some of the other camp activities taking place at the Swim Center, for instance, as well as our Demuth Community Center. Our department is also responsible for the city's Office of Special Events. So anytime there is a event that happens in the city, our office is responsible for leading the SEPT team, which is the Special Events and Planning team. And then one of our final areas that we're also responsible for is Village Fest. So every Thursday night, we have our Thursday Night Festival, Village Fest, 180 vendors on Palm Canyon Drive. And Village Fest has its own commission or board. They call it the Village Fest Board that works with our staff to oversee the process and the application procedure for vendors who are interested in participating in Village Fest. And I think, oh, no, we've got a few more. We also do department hosted community events. So our department plans events for the community as well. So we do annual holiday events like Breakfast with Santa. We've done a really fun Halloween carnival at the James O. Jesse Center. We've done Easter events. We do movies in the park. We also do that dive-in movie series that I talked a little bit about at the beginning of this meeting. We also conduct community outreach meetings to provide information about who we are and what we do, as well as to get information from the community and feedback on the projects that we're doing. One of the new community events that we just did a few months ago was our Hike with a Ranger program. And that's one that I think we will continue as we move forward as well. We also are responsible for doing some community service partnerships. So we operate our community centers as heating and cooling centers. So Parks and Recreation does that at the Duluth Community Center as well as the James O. Jesse Center. We also open up those two centers to be voting centers. We use James O. Jesse frequently as a food distribution center. And we also partner with Riverside Health, as well as DAP Health and other health organizations to provide vaccinations and just health and wellness resources for the community. So that is meant to be a sort of broad overview of what Parks and Rec does. We will, throughout the year, we'll do deep dives in some of those other areas, but hopefully that was informative for our new members. And hopefully some of our existing members maybe had an aha moment as well and found out that we did something that you weren't already aware that we do. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to give you guys the one-on-one presentation. And that completes that report.
Thank you, ma'am. As the commissioners will find out and see, we have a large department that does a lot. So there's a lot of stuff to get involved with here if you choose to. So with that, we're going to do the fiscal year 24 ad hoc assignments. As you saw in the earlier slide, we have about 6 to 7 different ad hocs right now. And we're trying to get some people to volunteer for them. So let's start out at the top left because it's open and available right now. Let me go ahead and start with there. But we're looking for a couple commissioners to volunteer to work on that dog park ad hoc. Do we have any commissioners that are looking to get onto that?
I see that Commissioner Moralia has his hand up.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, I'll be on that one too. Continue.
Johnny. Thank you, Johnny.
I'm going to, whoops. Oh, well, this was going to be my slide where I asked you guys if we need the landscape conversion ad hoc.
I think last year we pounded that out quite heavily. We submitted everything to council and they approved everything, correct, ma'am?
Everything is mostly approved. There is some work, I think, that for Francis Stevens that I think is still going through our historical commission, but we can bring those items back to the full commission. It's not an area right now where we think requires additional sort of hands, on deck.
That's
I think it's one, that we may not need moving forward.
That's okay with me. I know we took care of a good majority of it. Yeah, if we just got a minor tweak here and there, we can bring it back to the whole commission. We don't need a whole ad hoc for that. How's everybody else feel on this?
I agree, Jerry.
Okay.
Me too. I don't think we need that one anymore.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that over the last year, so it got hammered out. So that one's taken care of. We're gonna go ahead and go over to the next one then, since the landscape conversion, we don't need to keep that ad hoc. If something does come up and something does arise and we have some other, we can always start a new ad hoc as well. But currently we're not gonna fulfill that one. So let's move on to master plan. Is there anybody that wants to volunteer for the master plan? That's gonna be our next big assignment coming up.
Commissioner Meyer has her hand up.
Yeah, I see John's hand. I know.
Let's take Commissioner Davis as well.
Cool.
Yeah, and Jerry, like, I think you're totally right about the landscape conversion to the extent that anything new comes up, it's kind of going to be probably subsumed through master plan or park enhancements. So yeah, we can kind of just be dynamic with that.
Thank you, Susie. Are you staying on the master plan committee?
I hope so. If you'll have me. we haven't gotten to a quorum yet. I'm emotionally invested, Jerry.
Okay, we got you. You're in. So we got Susie. Who else do we have?
We had Moralia and Commissioner Davis.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mr. Davis, for stepping up. That's great. There can always be more than two, more than three. We can have us, but we'd like to keep it to a fairly even for each committee. So let's move on now. So any park enhancements? I know personally I want to be on that one. This is my city. I love it. If we can enhance the parks for the whole community, let's do it. I love it. I'm out there. I hear it a lot.
And then I see we have Commissioner Page.
Awesome. And I don't want to sound rude. I was Paige a Mr. or Miss. I don't have the face on. Mr. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Of course. Good. Happy to.
Yes, sir. Anybody else want to be on the park enhancements?
This is Don Admire. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Thank you, Don. Look forward to working with you as well, sir.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you, sir. So we got three ones for that. Let's go on to pickleball. Haha.
Yes, I would like to continue with that if I may.
Awesome, Michael. I wasn't going to say anything, but awesome. Thank you, sir. You have done a wonderful and exceptional job on that ad hoc. So thank you.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, great work, Michael. Really good.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to be on the pickleball ad hoc?
We have, of course, a few commissioners who aren't here today.
Okay. We can always fill these in throughout the next, not maybe September or August, but September we can see, if anyone would like to fill in. So tentatively, pickleball has one Michael, but we will get more for you, sir.
All right.
I would join you, but I have no skill or expertise to add that at all. I won't be any use. So with that being said, I'm gonna move on to
Commissioner Davis, do you have your hand up for pickleball, or is your hand just still raised?
No, I was raising it to offer some help there to Commissioner Finland if he would like it, and if somebody else decides to join and you don't need me, then I'm happy to step down, but I'm happy to provide support if you'd like. Of
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
course.
Be fantastic.
Wonderful. And our last ad hoc, right now we're kind of this one is still open. We're still working on it. As long as we're doing improvements and we have stuff going, we need to keep the open lines of communication with all the public and everything. So we have the swim center ad hoc. Who would like to be a part of the swim center ad hoc? Michael, did I see your hand go up, sir?
Yes, that's correct. I would.
Thank you, Michael. Anybody else? I know I would like to be as well because I'm into it, and we've been a part of it for so long now since the beginning. I'd like to see this get all
And
the
then
way
I
through.
see Meyer and Moralia as well.
Oh, awesome.
And if that's too many, if we're getting to the place of a quorum, I'm happy to bow out. But I feel like we've got some really good momentum in the group, and there's a huge a community need for that. So the more people we can have on hand, the better.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes. We got a lot of good momentum going on right now too with that. So let's keep that one we'll keep that one at a full house at 4. And then when we got the other commissioners come on, Diaz and I think Spellman, we'll see if they'd like to join pickleball or what other commissions or committees they'd like to get onto, the ad hocs.
Great.
So with that being said, what do you think, Yvonne? Are we pretty good on the ad hocs?
I think you're good. I think we just need, because we want to formalize the creation of the ad hocs, not necessarily the commissioners that are serving on the ad hocs. We would want a motion and a second to set up the 5 ad hocs: dog park master plan, park enhancements, pickleball, and swim center, and then I'll do a roll call vote.
Okay, motion to move forward with 5 ad hocs instead of our current 6.
I'll make
Second,
a motion.
I'll defer to John.
So Moralia. Was there a second?
Yeah, Moralia, you can either do Moralia,
I think Michael said he'd second it.
Oh,
Yes,
Okay, so Moralia and Finland in that order? Okay. Let me just get our names up again to do the roll call. Commissioner Admire,
Agree.
Chair Alcorn,
I agree.
Vice Chair Coladonato,
I agree.
Commissioner Davis,
Agree?
Commissioner Finland,
agree.
Commissioner Meyer,
Agree.
Commissioner Moralia,
Yes.
and Commissioner Page.
Agree.
Okay, motion carries to set up our 5 ad hocs for FY24. Thank you. Oh, here was this nice visual that I forgot to put up for you guys to make it easy. Ta-da!
Works wonderfully. So with that being said, thank you. We're gonna move this meeting forward to ad hoc commissioner updates. This part of the meeting is set up for our ad hoc. If we have any updates, to let the commission know what we have found, what our findings are, what's going on with our ad hoc meetings. And after the ad hoc meetings, we'd like to finish up with any commissioner comments. If you have any last burning desires or anything like that. So with that being said, let me go back to, can we start with the dog park? Do you have any updates, John?
We do. The shade structure is still anticipating to be installed at Demuth Park in October. And this is kind of the bigger news. It looks like we will have an agreement to go to the city council in September for the design team for the entire Demuth Dog Park project. And just so everybody knows, that's supposed to be completed by June of 2025, because that's the grant timeframe. It is a land water conservation fund grant in the amount of $1.65 million with a city match of an additional $1.65 million.
That's big money, Commissioner Moralia.
I know, all this for 4-legged friends. Awesome.
Hey, John, I got a question for you. How we doing on the, and maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse here, but the netting on field 7 especially?
It should be part of that
Okay.
plan for sure, but I can't remember, Yvonne, remind me if that's going to be a separate funding piece. Is that coming through Measure J, or is it part of this 3.3 million?
I think it's going to be part of the 3.3 as opposed to through Measure J, because I think we wanted to keep Measure J focused a little bit more on the shade and sustainability aspect of the park.
Okay, great. But it is still part of that design, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Wonderful. Anybody have any questions for John or the dog park ad hoc? Wonderful report as always, sir. Thank you. So with that landscape conversion, as you guys heard a little earlier, I don't know if we have any updates. Okay, so with that, we're just going to move forward. We just a quick update on that, everybody. We did submit our plans to council. We are working with our contractor to get the spaces done, and everything's moving accordingly. So that's working great. Moving on to the next is master plan. Is there any master plan ad hocs?
Yes, I have some updates for you
Yes,
on
ma'am.
this as well. So the RFP for master plan consultant that we've been talking about over the past few meetings was issued today, and the proposals for that are due in a month, so August 31st. And Yvonne, is the RFP on the city's website, or what's the best way for people to access it?
Yeah, it is. So what I'll do is I'll send a link out after this meeting to all of our commissioners in case you want to help further disseminate that RFP.
Okay, cool. And then just the rough timeline sort of to keep in mind with RFPs is the proposal and screening reviews would start taking place in September. And then an agreement will go to council in October so that we can have our plan formalized. And then with respect to the interactive water play consultant RFP, which we talked about, which kind of touches on swim center stuff and also on master plan, is still in queue. So hopefully we'll have a report on that in the near future. And that's all.
Thank you, Susie. Awesome, awesome. Any questions for Susie or the master plan updates? All right. Wonderful. Thank you, ma'am, as always. So moving on to park enhancements. Do we have any ad hoc meeting, or do we have any anything for that?
We've got the Bristow shade structure that's going over the playground there. That was just sort of spec'd, and that will take a couple months for that to be installed.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
So that playground right now does not have any shade structure over it. So it's just a shade structure over the existing playground equipment.
Okay, we're desert people, but it'll get shady eventually, and that's awesome. So thank you for that. Is there a pickleball update?
Yes, I just wanted to share that when we had our July 18th meeting with the community, there was positive feedback from the members with regard to pickleball, and the folks that dropped by my table were very happy to hear of what was anticipated for the city forthcoming as far as court expansion. And with regard to court expansion, the RFP process, a company was chosen and will be moving forward for discussion purposes with the design consultant in implementing those anticipated changes and court expansion over at Demuth. So we're very excited and pleased with regard to that. And for my ad hoc group, I will be reaching out to the folks. Things were in a bit of a holding pattern with the committee in terms of just waiting for a company to be chosen and of course for city council to approve. And I'm anticipating around Wednesday, August 9th, I'll be meeting with the ad hoc committee and we'll have further developments with regard to court expansion process. And with that being said, I just want to, for a moment, defer to Yvonne. Is there anything that you'd like to share or add to what I put forth to the group today?
Nope, I think you've covered it all. Thank you.
All right. Okay. And that's my report.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments from Michael? All right. Moving on to the swim center ad hoc. I will take point on this one, as our new commissioners are going to find out. And as we know, we've been working on this for a couple months now, and a lot of issues are being addressed. We have a new pool director who is working diligently on fixing up and repairing and getting everything all organizing it in the pool into the shape that it needs to be. We have new staffing coming in. This pool is changing over for the positive, which is great. There was a lot of concern from our regular every citizens that was having a lot of complaints about it, and I think we're working on it. We're continually making it better. This is not the end. It's going to continue with open dialogue between us and the community and the city as everybody's working together. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how this is going to progress for us, for just in general. We do have a 22-page report I'm going to send off to Janice and have her forward it to all the commissioners so you guys can take a look at what we came up with after quite a few meetings. We met together, a meeting with the community, and then coming back with community concerns and outlooks and predictions on how long they'd like to get stuff done, which realistically, it's all being taken care of as soon as it possibly can. And we are working forward with it all, which is great. So look for that in the future emails, not from me. I cannot contact you directly because that is a Browns Act violation, but it will be coming from the city. And yeah, with that, Yvonne, do you have anything to add on this one too?
No, obviously, we've been working around the clock to make sure that we've got the staffing resources that we need to minimize those closures to the swim center. So as you saw, since our last meeting, 4 new lifeguards have joined our team.
Awesome. And not only that too, like just FYI guys, one of the things they were saying was communication. This morning I think I had an email, a text. I had multiple ways of communication this morning, being told that the pool was closed because of air quality, which was the right decision. And that's just awesome. You know, we're working on it. That's all I'm going to say. And a great job. Seriously, it's only room for improvement. So thank you. With that being said, is there any commissioner comments or any comments for any of the subcommittees? Okay, with that, I don't have a view here. So if you have any comments or you'd like to comment, please raise your hand. If you have any comments, concerns, or anything coming up. The only thing I'd like to say to everybody, if you don't mind me, I don't have a screen to see if anybody's on here, is we are going to be dark next month. Everybody takes next month off from the city as well as our commission. We will be meeting again September, the
25th.
4th Monday in September.
25th.
The 25th. And just an FYI to be looking out either October, November, December, we will be doing another State of the City where we come together and the city puts a nice dinner out there for us and we get a meet at the convention center and just tell them what's going on with our commission and what we're doing and how the city's going with all the different commissions. You get to put faces with a lot of different people. We have a lot of different commissions throughout the city. So look forward to that coming up as well. Other than that, I got nothing else. Does anybody else have anything?
I do, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jerry, great job this year. Having you as our chair it's really good. I love it. I've been on this commission for a number of years now, and you know, it's the city, the stuff for the new people. This is mainly for the new people. Things take time. This is government. But your help and for you guys jumping on extra ad hoc committees, great job. And this event that Jerry's talking about, come to it. I've gone every time, and you're going to meet all these different groups. You're going to meet the other different commissions, you know, like the airport commission and all these other groups. And you're going to meet a lot of good people, and the food is good. And it's a really good thing for everybody to go to because you'll get a grasp of it. And we'll be meeting together. I'm not a big Zoom guy. I don't really care for this stuff, but it is what it is. But it's really meet everybody in person. You know, it's fun. So Jerry, great job, brother. And thank you for letting me be the vice chair. I appreciate you guys voting me for that. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Johnny. My pleasure. I got to retort that back to you, man. It's been my absolute honor working with you, brother. So thank you. With everybody on this whole commission, honestly. But
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. Does anybody else have anything they would like to say?
I just wanted to thank Yvonne for the onboarding. I thought it was really good. Thank you. You're a great presenter too.
Thank you, Commissioner Page.
Yvonne, we'll be getting a sort of a list of contact information for the commission.
Yes, yes. And then just remember though, that, you know, since you're a commissioner though, that you should not be emailing the other commissioners. But we will make sure that you have contact information for each other.
Understood. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right. Well, with that being said, if there's no other comments or burning desires, I'm going to call for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you, sir. I got a first by Rod. Can I get a second?
Second,
Thank you, Michael. With that being said, I'd like to call to close a Palm Springs Parks and Recreation Commission meeting at 6:33.
All right,
June,
thank you,
July
everyone.
1st. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
thank you.
See you guys
Thank you.
September.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Yvonne.
Thank you, guys.
All right. See ya.